Hi, it's Gene Trowbridge from the law firm of Trowbridge and Ney. We're securities attorneys, and this is our YouTube that you were looking for, entitled "You Can't Be a Finder." So once again, this is all about people trying to take their investors into someone else's deal, and what are the rules around that? Well, you can see from the title, you can't be a finder. And you better be careful about breaking the rules on this. I'm the founder of our law firm. I was a syndicator for a long time, been in the real estate broker in real estate business and teaching. I went to law school at 45 to leave the syndication business to become a lawyer in the industry. It's been a great run for me. I wrote a book, and you're going to get a chance to get a copy of the PDF of the book for free at the end of the presentation. And I'm an old runner, meaning that I still run half marathons, but I'm older and I'm slower. So that's about me. Let's talk about being a finder. What is a finder? Generally, it's a person or entity who identifies investors for a capital raising transaction, but is not the issuer of that transaction or a licensed broker dealer. So generally, the rule is only licensed broker dealers can sell a security. Well, that rule has one exception, and it's like the exception in the real estate industry, where you can sell your own real estate if you don't have a real estate license, but you can't sell mine unless you have a real estate license. So that's what it is in the securities world, but it's not called for sale by owner. It's called the issuer exemption. If you're an issuer, if you're the managing member or you're the general partner and you're raising money through selling securities, you can do that without a license. So what is a finder? It's someone who doesn't qualify for the issuer exemption and isn't a licensed broker dealer, and generally it's involving selling someone else's security. Currently, there is no federal exemption for the activities of a finder unless you're an issuer or you have a securities license. So there's no exemption for doing this, bringing people into other people's deals. What can you do? Well, there was a no action letter in 1991 called the Paul Anka no action letter. Some of you who are my age might remember the name of Paul Anka. He was a music star. And what he wanted to do, he wanted to help the Ottawa professional hockey team raise money. So he wasn't a broker. He wasn't an issuer. So he went to the SEC and said, you know, what I'd like to do is this. I'd like to provide a list of names and contact information of people that I have a pre-existing relationship. I'd like to give that list to the hockey team. I reasonably believe that the people on that list are accredited. I will not personally contact them on the list regarding the offering. I'm not going to make any recommendations regarding the offering. I will take a finder's fee of 10% if the hockey club sells to any of the people on my list. And this is the only deal I'm going to do. So the no action letter came along and said, yes, if that's what you do one time for one offering, you can probably qualify as a finder, but it's pretty restrictive. Here's my list. I think they're accredited. I'm not talking to them about your offering. I'm not making any recommendations. I'd like to get paid a finder's fee if anyone buys, and this is the absolute only one I'm doing this on. So that's relatively restrictive. So now what? So what's happening? Our clients are forming their own LLCs, raising money in their own offerings, and then that offering will invest in someone else's offering. when the clients form their own LLCs to do this, they are operating as a securities. They're going to be doing it under Rule 506B or 506C and Regulation D, so it's an exempt offering. The LLC, who is now the investor in someone else's deal, will get a K-1 and one check. And then the clients who have formed that LLC will do the accounting and give every one of their individual investors a K-1 and their share of the check. How do our clients make money on that? In the LLC that they're forming, that they're using to raise money from their clients, there are going to be fees created, acquisition fees, management fees, whatever they decide to do. But you don't make the money from the issuer of the offering in which your LLC is investing. You make the money from your own investors. And so that's commonly called fund of funds. It's a fund that you put together and then you put together in someone else's fund. So that's the language that they use, but it's really just a finder activity. How am I going to get my investors into someone else's deal? Well, set up your own LLC, set it up as a security, invest in someone else's deal, and then you manage your LLC. That's the way it is, but there's no way you can send your investors to an issuer and expect to get paid unless you follow the Paul Anka rule, which says, I'll give you the list. I won't make any recommendations. I won't talk to the people. If you're lucky enough to sell them something, you can pay me a fee. And this is the one and only one I'm ever going to do. So that's relatively restrictive. So this method, by forming your own LLCs, really lets you do this over and over if you'd like. So I mentioned that I was going to provide you a way to get a free PDF of my book, and here it is. The link is book.tnllp.com. If you go to that link, we'll send you a free PDF copy of my book. For those of you who like to listen to books, there is an Audible version of my book that I narrated that's on Amazon under Audible. So you can go there if you like that. The book has all these chapters that you see on the left of the screen talking about entities and securities and IRS and everything. So it's the 4th edition. It's current up to today's securities laws. Every time there's a major securities law change, I write a new edition. This is the most current. So thanks for joining us at our YouTube channel. Before you leave, be sure to subscribe because we're always posting new, valuable, timely information. So this is Gene Trowbridge saying, I'll see you next